Who would you rather ask for help, Hitler or Stalin? Which were better, the Nazis or the Soviets? On June 18, 1940, all three countries of the Baltic States were occupied by the USSR. Citizens of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia now had the choice, Hitler or Stalin. We all know the story of the Holocaust. Jews, gypsies, and other unfit peoples were sent to concentration camps throughout Europe. For Germans, it was the Gestapo who carried out the tasks of removing people from Germany. For Russia, it was the NKVD. When Russia officially annexed all the states and the part of Finland called Karelia, the Russians sent out the NKVD to deport the unwanteds from these places to the gulags. The types of people sent varied: non-communist, members of religious organizations, former military officers, employees of foreign embassies, bankers, teachers, lawyers, even artists. More than 70% of the deportees were women and children. What was life like in the gulags? Think of a German concentration camp. For the men, it was hard labor in prisons, building canals and mining for gold in frozen lands. Women, children, the elderly, and a few men, mostly already injured or younger than 20, were often moved many kilometers above the Arctic Circle. Some even boarded ships past Japan to their final stop. What was more cruel? The fact that many didn't want to make it to the Arctic until the beginning of fall, or when they arrived, not a single building was waiting for them to call shelter from the harsh winds. They built huts called yurts to stay in. Scurvy and starvation ran rampant. Fleas and lice managed to thrive in a place where there were no other bugs. Some natives tried to help, but the NKVD denied them. Work was still important. Prisoners cut frozen logs and fished many kilometers away and brought everything back for the NKVD officers to use. Many noticed the American goods they had: coats, rations, and boots. When the war was over, many of the prisoners at the camps were forced to stay for almost a decade. The few that were still at home feared being under Soviet occupations again and fled to West Germany. Many burned or buried the belongings to avoid them falling into Soviet hands. The United Nations Relief and Rehabilitation Administration tried to help the refugees, but because of Soviet occupation, many just immigrated to Australia or the United States. Baltic peoples who fought for Germany in the war fled to Israel because of war crimes. The Soviet reoccupation of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia began in 1945. On August 23, 1989, people of these countries joined hands in a line that passed through the capital cities of Vilnius, Riga, and Tallinn and sang for their freedom in the Singing Revolution. They were granted their freedom in 1991.